the beat hit, it's squeamish. Friday nights be gleaming. We stay hype with guys like no matter what, cause we queenin'. Hey, we queenin'. We queenin'. When them other chicks be scheming, we stay hype cause we queenin'.
With the queens and the feeling, throw them hands up. Got a crown on my head, no we can be touched.
Nite Hype, the podcast show with me, your hype home girl, hashtag swag.
And I'm DJ Missy E.
And today, I'm really excited. Yeah, we've been having some dope interviews here lately.
We have.
Yeah. So we have author Kelli Parker in the house.
Yeah.
And with her new book, Faces of Eve. And I'm excited. Let's talk about this.
Okay. Thank you, ladies, for having me here tonight. I'm excited.
Yay.
And she's gorgeous, like Jesus. Black girl magic in the house.
Ow. Black don't crack. Black don't crack.
So thank you so much for coming by. It's really no problem at all. Now tell us a little bit about Faces of Eve and why Eve.
So I have been writing for probably since high school, and just kind of for myself.
Yeah.
And
Me too. Journaling and stuff. Okay.
And just really because I couldn't find my voice. And so my words were my voice.
Girl,
without the intention of ever sharing that. It was really just for me.
Yeah.
And so a couple of years ago, I started pulling things out and just kind of looking at how they fell into this story. And I said, okay. So I kind of played with it a little bit. And then the name just like came to me.
Yeah.
And Eve, the name Eve means woman. And so this collection is a story of a collection of women. Some of them are my personal story, and some are stories of women that I know. And so I just thought how wonderful to pay tribute to women and the struggle that we go through to find love from others and find love for ourselves. And so that's kind of what the journey is. It's a journey of transformation. And so she goes from seeking to finding the wrong things.
Yeah.
And then being broken and then finding the right thing.
Ain't that y'all? Why is that just how it go? Ain't that how it go though? Like seriously, try not to stunt. I like to keep it real, but you literally just described my process with love.
Yeah.
Coming up as a young woman, so where I am now, 34, and finally realizing my worth, and but it definitely came from a lot of broken days. Unfortunately,
it's a definite journey, and I think some of us, when you don't have that example in front of you, then you experiment.
Girl.
And you try to, this must be it. Or, it's supposed to be like it was in the movies. Or,
yes, in this book.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that's the misconception that we have. And that's what I love movies. And I love, it's like, it's going to feel like that. And I'm going to hear the music and see the stars and all of that. And then you're like, oh. I didn't get any of that.
That part all together. Now I'm sitting here and I'm looking through this, and she brought us a copy. Shout out to you. I love when y'all come through and bring us stuff. Like I just do. And I'm already looking at it. I see 2 poems like just already jumped off the page, and it's Date Night and Jezebel. And it's pretty cool because it's like go from one end of the spectrum to like the other end. So what would you say is your favorite one, or some of your favorites?
So some of my favorites, Hey Black Girl is.
I seen that one. Yeah,
that's one. It was fun to write that one. That's my husband's favorite too.
Oh.
And a few men that have read my book was like, "Hey, I like that one," and I was like, "Okay, so they."
They so see the magic. Yeah.
And then Love Glasses is one of my other favorites.
Nice.
And then there is one. It's about redemption. Called Hindsight.
Hindsight.
I like that.
And you always get it in hindsight.
Yes, you do.
For real.
You do. Those would probably be my top 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what's the most difficult part in your artistic process?
Oh, Lord. I can only imagine from an author's point of view.
I know sometimes you get writer's block, right?
Do get writer's block. I'm a procrastinator. Like no other.
Look.
You're a Sagittarius.
I'm a Taurus.
She's
okay.
Bull. She's a bull.
Okay.
That's stubborn. I get you. I got one at home like that.
And I just kind of go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I flow and sometimes I ebb, and it's just, and then I stall out, and then I was like, okay, I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And then 6 months, I was like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to be working on, and so procrastination is my biggest roadblock.
Yeah.
And I tried to, I'm gonna be organized this year, and I'm buy this planner, and I put this, we made a aim board, and I wrote it all down.
I wrote a planner,
and then I forget to.
Let me tell you. So last year, I promised I bought a planner. I've been buying them for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years, but I never make it through the full year of planning. But last year, I made it till September, and that was good for me. I felt, and I bounced in, November, December, but that was, I was happy because
it's a start,
and it's crazy because your life really do be organized. It really do keep you on track.
It helps them with your colored pens.
Yes, I do. Purple.
I got pink today. That's hers. So, on an average amount of time, how long you think it took for you to finish this book?
To put it, well, they're written over a span of about 20 years, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are like in the thick of the process, and some are reflection. So it took me, I would say, about a year to get them in the sequence that I wanted them, and to really convince myself that I was ready to share it.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle Gines, who is the owner of Purpose Publishing, I took my project to her, and I said, Michelle, I don't know if I'm ready. And she kind of flipped through it. She said, oh yeah, you're ready.
You ready?
And I said, okay. And I said, but I don't know. And she's like, stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Shout out to Michelle too.
Yes,
we'll get you on the show shortly.
She is fantastic. She can be your biggest cheerleader. I mean, and she just knows the business. Mm-hmm. She is a phenomenal woman of God. That's awesome. Just really pushes her authors to do their best. So it took about a year to pull it all together, put it in the sequence that I wanted it in, and then once I took it to her, we just hit the ground running.
Love it.
So you talk about it took over 20 years. So what was like the cherry on top, or what broke the camel's back that was like, I have to write this story. I have to make it become a story and release it. What made you know I'm an author and I have to get this out to the world?
So I was looking through just boxes and folders and pulling them out, and I would hand them to my husband. Here, read this and see what you think. And he was like, this is pretty good. I was like, oh, okay, well then read this one.
Yeah.
And as I started to, I was like, okay, these are a common theme. Let me put these together, and then let me group these together. And then I saw it.
Yeah.
Just like it played out in front of me. And I said, okay, this is a journey.
Yeah.
It is truly a journey. And because it encompasses so many years, it is a journey. And so I just saw it.
This is so dope. Who is your cover art by?
One of the artists that works with the publishing company.
I wonder if it's Kurt's Heart.
I'm not sure.
Because this looks like her stuff I see. Yeah, actually it's right there in the front.
Oh,
right there. Yes. She deals with a lot of, melanin magic, a lot of our misery, our mental health. And so it's crazy, because I looked at the front and this definitely looked like one of her artwork, but it matches so much with what you're saying.
So let me tell you, they, as part of the process, they give you like 3 or 4 different covers to choose from. She had not read the book. All she had was the title. And when I got this back, I said,
she's an amazing artist. I will tell you that if you haven't ever heard of her, she's on Facebook and our Instagram, and I want to say it's Kirzart. Yeah.
Okay.
So I found her off X on the Coast. Look at
these
women shining.
Yes. I would love to meet her because this was so perfect. And one of my friends, my first friend that read it, she said, Kelli, that even kind of looks like you.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's perfect.
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 So is this your first book?
It is not. So I have a novel that I self-published, I don't even know how many years ago, called The Woman in the Mirror, which I plan to re-release with Purpose. And I'm working on the sequel to that. because I am a procrastinator. I have about 4 projects right now.
Okay, all together, coming together.
Trying to finish. When I did my book launch, I talked about the very first novel that I tried to write. I had some time between jobs, and I said, well, let me just see if I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and then I hit that block.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was, my son was probably 3, and he's 24 now. So I'm trying to finish that one. I promised all the people that came out that I would finish that. Also.
Nice. I like that. Like that accountability to them in yourself. Yes. Throwing it back out there.
Well, any advice would you give to your younger self? I guess would be not to procrastinate, huh?
Not to procrastinate. You know what? I can't. You are so shady, bro. I don't mean to be. Last time we was doing the interview. Oh, what'd she say?
There's nothing shady about me at all, okay?
But that's the funny part, because she don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's oblivious to it. She does it so shadily. So shadily.
Oh, I like that.
Whatever, y'all. Whatever.
I would tell my younger self not to procrastinate, except I think this is the appointed time for this book.
There is. Yes,
well, you believe in God's timing, man.
Yes. And if I hadn't made some of the choices that I made, this would be a lot thinner.
But it's kind of nice, though, because now you talked about one of your poems that was called Redemption in Hindsight, and I can only imagine what it's like. But is it more like a full circle poem? Like, wow, looking back, everything led to this, and this is why I'm where and who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And that was one of those ones that woke me up in the middle of the night.
Oh, Lord.
And I said, I gotta find something.
Okay.
Put my glasses on.
Girl, you better go, because I just sit there.
And it'll be going out your mind.
And wake up the next morning, I don't even imagine.
I have stuff written on the back of napkins. Yeah. I mean, on anything that I have, to jot it down.
You're a true writer. That's amazing. That is so amazing, man. So how do you write? Is it like typewriters? Do that exist?
Some people do typewriters.
Started on a typewriter. I'm older. Really? So I started on a typewriter.
Somebody said fountain pen. You know what? Anyways, do you write? You use the computer? I
do both. I do both. So I have several notebooks that I might, write it down, and sometimes it flows better if I'm on my computer.
Yeah.
But if I'm writing, I'll keep going. If I'm typing, I'll go back and I don't like that word.
Yeah. And then they'll bring up the grammar corrects and all this stuff. Okay, I got you. I like that. Look, she don't know, she giving me some hints.
Sometimes a pencil. Go back to a number 2 pencil.
I know.
I can't. That's one thing I cannot write with pencil.
I love a pencil. Something about a freshly sharpened pencil with
I write in cursive, so like I find that as I'm writing with a pencil, like my hands get the rubbing on it. So that's why I've ever since high school I love pens.
I love it. It feels like the possibilities endless. What you could do with it. That's like with me and gas. If I fill my tank all the way up, I feel like I can just do anything. Like I can go, man. Anywhere I want to go.
I'm not finna play with you. Be feeling like you could go to California. Man, you like make it to Colombia.
I put the tank up. I gotta go. It's gone, girl.
Do you have a job other than being a writer, like a day job or?
I do. I work at Children's Mercy. I've been there for. It'll be 20 years. I'm aging myself again.
Girl, but see that magic, y'all. I said, if this what I'm finna look like, thank you, Jesus, 25 for life. I ain't mad about it. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Once you lay all that down and get peace, it's like a facial.
Yes, and then I seen this quote that was like, if you think about good thoughts, or you keep these good thoughts in your head, your face will literally light up from the thoughts that you're having, like sunbeams. So I get good. That. That's so funny.
That's good.
Have you ever felt rejected in your writing? You're like, I'm a writer and I'm sensitive about my ish.
Well, I just started referring to myself as a writer, so that kind of answers that question. I do remember I wrote a poem for my father years ago, and he read it, and then he was like, well, why did you write this? Why did you use that? And I was like,
You missed the point, Dad.
Exactly.
Like, never mind. I'll take that back.
Okay, right.
That wasn't for you. That wasn't one for you.
Yeah.
and when you have to explain it, it's just like it kind of takes some of the oomph out of it.
Yeah, it makes you just kind of second guess. Maybe
And that's what made me so hesitant to share it, because I felt like people are gonna judge it, and in judging my words, you're judging me. But now I realize. And everybody's not going to get it. Right. It's like art.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to get it.
Okay. And then everybody have different genres that they like. So, definitely. But I like that you say that. You said you just started referring to yourself as a writer. And it's just so weird, because as I was just asking you the first questions, I was like, she a writer. Like, she talking about, I'll go in, I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm writing on napkins. And that's what real life writers do. So it's just amazing to see that, even as sincere and beautiful as putting this out, but just to see that even still, you can have this tinge of like, is this of insecurity, or like, is this really right? And instead of just knowing like this, somebody needs this, somebody. And I'm like so excited to read it, because it sounds like you just wrote my journey out, Lord, unfortunately. But if given the opportunity over again, would you change anything about the books that you wrote, or the process that you had to go through to get to this complete journey?
I would just finish the ones but
that part.
I wouldn't change the journey. I used to beat myself up a lot about decisions that I made, and I'm in this because and we put ourselves in places, and then we're like, get me out of this. And
okay,
like, well,
but you
chose that.
Okay,
I was really hard on myself, but now I see that there was purpose. In all of it.
Yeah.
Amen. And it is a story that has to be told, and even if one woman sees herself and says, I can do better.
Man, look.
Then I have done what I'm supposed
to do. Well, you did your job. I don't know, but I'm excited to read where I can find a way to do better, Jesus.
And he is the answer.
He is the answer. Definitely. He's definitely been my peace. And that's something that I've really been trying to get back to, is just allowing the love of God to fulfill me. I feel like something we as women struggle, and you said when you don't have an example of love, you just start going through trying different stuff. And I know, because I love Black men, like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with them. But I also found that I have different types of people that I will love for different type of reasons. And I feel like that's just because I didn't have that example, period, to know, what was a man, what was like. So I've tried these different kinds to see, what was going to actually work for me. And now I find that the older I get, I want to feel whole before, I even have to open myself up to have somebody complete that portion. And I know it just comes from him. But I still find myself, wanting to feel the tangible, or, And
you have to know how you want to be treated. And not settle for anything less than that.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times we're like, well, that dream
since
has
I
not
want
come,
it,
so
right? Let me settle.
Let me go ahead.
And girl, and to this point, like to this day, like right now, just getting it over the past, like 2 to 3 years. Jesus. That's exactly what it is. Like, I don't want to settle. I know that what I want and the love that I could give could come back to me. So why settle for something that's, basic? It's
and I think another way to monitor that is, are you truly yourself with that person? Can you be your goofy self, your crying self, your pitiful self,
your needy self, your clingy
vulnerable self? Can you tell him your secrets? Can you share, everything?
Okay.
And if you don't have to change who you are to please him, or if you just to I don't want him
get
to think
that attraction or this,
because I'm goofy as I'll get.
I call myself classy ratchet, and it's just the truth.
That sums it all up for her. Yes, ma'am. I love it though. That's my girl.
Oh God.
That's my turn. Okay.
She's so funny.
Okay, so what is the most important thing to get out of this book, in your opinion?
Just write it out. Write it out. Recently, a friend of mine told me that I try to control my processes.
I gotta write this
And
down
that
too,
will
Lord.
mess you up.
He just gave me notes. How you give me notes during the podcast, God?
Look,
Like, I'm
write 'em
taking
down.
notes.
Just write 'em
He
down.
said, write it down.
Just write it out.
Man, look.
Because you get on this roller coaster of emotion. I don't like roller coasters. I never have. So I really didn't like this one because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to hold on and ride through it.
Right. Right.
Because there's something else.
Yeah,
At
over
the
that
end of it.
next
Yes.
hump,
Yeah.
man. Like that butterfly in your stomach,
Yeah.
that excitement from
Yeah.
just getting over. Oh, girl,
Yeah.
did you come up in the freeze?
Just-
Is that what you came for? Because I feel like I need to pass the opera. Like, around you. Yes.
Hold on through that process.
Amen.
You are inspiring. Hashtag swag over here.
For real.
Any advice that you would give to any other aspiring writers?
Absolutely. Just don't quit. Don't overjudge yourself. Give yourself a break.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you write is not going to be stellar. Everything you write won't make sense to everybody, but just keep at it. Because you go through, this is kind of how I explained my journey in writing. There was a skill. You learn the skill of writing.
Right.
We all do that in school. where you
Yeah,
have
we
to
do.
Write a poem about
Comp
roses
one,
and red,
right.
and then you go
Haikus
into
and
all
metaphors
of that, and then you
similes.
go into writing papers and all that. So you learn the skill of writing, and then you have to find your passion for writing,
Yeah.
and that passion will take you into your purpose.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I've seen happen for me, and things that I have written for myself that are very emotional and very personal.
Mm-hmm.
I took the time to share those things with somebody else, and it made a difference. And I said, okay.
Yes. I can do
I'm
it.
a writer.
Okay.
But I wrote this one after my father passed, and it was just about accepting who we were as father and daughter.
Okay. Right. I feel you.
And when somebody passes, and then you have these people that come out, oh, and they were this and they were that, and it's like, that's my father. If I didn't know it,
I don't need to know it.
Right.
That
I want to remember him
Right.
the way I knew him.
Right.
And so it was kind of like that, Daddy,
Yeah.
how did we get to this place? But all I'm going to remember is the love.
Amen.
And so one of my coworkers her relationship with her father was a lot more strained. But when he died, and she was really struggling to figure out how she felt,
grieving.
and I said, this helped me. And she came back and she was like, you have no idea what that did for me. And I was just like,
because the chill, look, I just felt it myself. The chills. It's like an artist that is like in a stadium and everybody's, rapping your song, or you drive down the street and you hear it, just to know your art, your words can change and do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, loving for somebody else. Definitely.
Yeah, and stay humble.
Okay.
Yes.
Write that down.
Don't blow it up. Don't blow up.
Because God will take it away.
Yes, he will.
Snatch it right on back.
Yes, he will.
You ain't ready. Is there any one of these poems you would like to share with the
Yeah,
audience
can you
right now?
read one? Like, I would absolutely
We'll let you pick.
love
We'll
for
let you pick.
to read one.
Anyone, but if you would like to, that would be awesome.
Okay, let me see. So I'll do Love Glasses.
What page that's on?
It's on 68.
I'm already ready to cry.
But let me tell you this real quick
Okay.
before I read that one. So page 59, In My Shoes, and song. That is for my good friend, my sister, girlfriend, mother friend, Ann McKelvey.
Okay.
I just had to
Shout
put that
out
out
to
there.
her.
Shout out, Ann.
Because her sharing her testimony changed my life. So I just want to put that
Thank you.
little shout out. Excuse me. So Love Glasses.
68.
And this came, how people say, you see the world through
The
rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
I saw the world through love-colored glasses. And so, I see you through love-colored glasses. Every dream I ever dreamed, every man I ever formed in my late-night mind. I see you through love-colored glasses. Every melody I ever sang, every poem I ever wrote, every lover I ever loved. I see you through love-colored glasses, and thank God for showing me beauty, for showing me truth and sending me you.
That's beautiful. Right.
Cause woo, girl. And see, it's crazy because when you get the actual author to read it, like the emotion, I can hear it. Cause I was kind of reading it different. Like I see you through love curve melodies, every melody I ever sang, but oh God, these are beautiful.
Thank you.
They are really beautiful. Can you sign my book for me?
Okay. Mine as well. I was going to ask you that at the end of the
Yes, and where can they get the book? Where can they find out more about you? Website, socials, whatever.
So I do have a website. It's just facesofevebooks.com. You can go through Purpose Publishing's website. It's on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon.
Whoop, whoop, Amazon.
If you do buy it on Amazon, write a review for me, please.
Okay, for sure. I'll go in there and write a review, girl.
For sure.
Or just email me.
Mm-hmm.
I have copies in my basement.
Okay.
Ready to distribute.
Okay.
So, any of those avenues can pick it up.
Beautiful.
And then look for the next projects.
Hey. All right, y'all. That is Kelli Parker with Faces of Eve.
Yes.
Thank you once again for coming.
Thank you for having me. Faces of Eve
Faces of Eve Books.
Okay, books.com. Yes.
Awesome.
And it was definitely a pleasure. It really was.
Wonderful meeting you two and hanging out.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, when you get the next project out, come back to girl.
Okay.
That's
absolutely.
how we like to do it.
Yes,
we love y'all repeats, And so I'm excited to go delve in this and dream about my love. In the meantime, in between time, I bid y'all deuces.
Holler at us, follow us
everywhere,
like, share. You know what I'm saying? Oh! Shout out! We got to give a shout out to iHeart
and Radio Google Podcast. We on there now. Drop the mic. Out here moving on up.
Moving on.
And we might have some new news. Some new news coming out.
New news coming out.
Don't forget. Thank you so much. Shout out to y'all. We bid you a deuce.
Holla at us.
Bye.
Bye.